Hi everyone, welcome to your video lecture on the thesis. In this video, you'll learn about the thesis statement and you will need this for all of your essays in this class, okay? So here we go. This is the PowerPoint lecture that's available on this Canvas page. Let me show you. So under Thesis for Essay 1, there's a little link that says PowerPoint lecture on the thesis. You can just download it there and you'll find it in your downloads folder. And let's get started. So, the thesis. Now, this is something a lot of people struggle with. And if you find yourself struggling with it, it may not actually be your fault. One of the big problems that we have in education is that teachers will call a thesis by different names, which can be really confusing if you're not sure what a thesis is. You'll hear a teacher call it a thesis statement, an argument, a main idea, a central idea, a main point, and sometimes they'll do all of it in the same class. So all of these phrases can refer to the same thing, a thesis statement. Now, a thesis is arguably the most important part of your essay, and that's because academic essays have a different goal than, say, a movie or a nonfiction book or a fictional book or a magazine article or a newspaper article. An academic essay must give its main argument and conclusions right at the beginning. Okay, right at the beginning. There are no surprises in an academic essay. All right. Often it is the part teachers focus on when they grade you. Okay, so if you're not writing a strong thesis statement, that can really hurt your grade, even if the rest of your paper is super amazing. Most teachers require a thesis that is exactly one sentence long. But you'll find, especially as you start going through your upper division classes, that your thesis statements will get longer as your essays get more complex, right? You'll have more arguments to make, more conclusions to put forth. You'll need more space. In this class, you may write a thesis that is up to 2 sentences long. But if you write a thesis that's 2 sentences long, those sentences must be next to each other. All right? They can't be separate. They have to be next to each other. If your thesis is more than one sentence, again, those sentences must be next to each other in the essay. Also, the thesis must be somewhere at the beginning of the essay. For this class, the thesis must appear somewhere on the first page for credit, okay, for credit. In some countries, the thesis statement is actually at the end of the essay. So if you're from one of these countries, or you were taught to write by somebody from one of these countries, you're used to putting the thesis at the end. And I'll tell you one thing, that always made more sense to me because you make your arguments, you give all your conclusions, and then you end with a statement saying what you proved. Well, in this country, what we want you to do is take that ending statement and then move it to the top of the essay and have it at the beginning, right? And it's so weird. In fact, many people don't actually write their thesis until they've written the entire essay. So keep that in the back of your mind. You're going to write a thesis to start, but that thesis might change as you do your research, as you make different arguments, all right? Okay. Now your thesis is graded and it's graded according to a formula, and that formula has been designed to make it clear to you, but also to make grading fair. All right. So when I grade your thesis, I'm looking for 3 parts. It must have a limited topic, and that's what the essay is about, limited to a manageable size. And I'll show you some examples of this in a few minutes, so don't worry. 2, a main argument. This is the side you take or the claim you make. Often, if your teacher's topic has asked a question, this part, this argument part, is your answer to that question. All right. And number three, an explanation that tells why your argument is correct. Now, you may have been in a class before where your explanation section was a list of three things. That's perfectly fine. That's like a map of your essay. But this semester, you're going to experiment with a little more complicated thesis too. And so you might find as you're trying to construct a uh, list of three things that either you don't have three things or you have more than three things. And so we're going to work with that because remember, the truth does not match our formulas that we get in class. What we have to do is adapt to the truth we find. All right? So stay flexible. Don't worry. Let's take a look. So imagine you have a teacher and that teacher assigns you this essay. I'm not assigning this essay, but just pretend you are. Let's say that the teacher says, what is your favorite type of pet? That first part of your thesis, the limited topic, comes straight from the essay topic. So what is your favorite type of pet? You're writing about favorite type of pets, right? That's the limited topic. Now, if the teacher said, what is your favorite type of animal? You could limit that down to domestic animal if you wanted. That's that limiting section. Your main argument is the answer to that question. What is my favorite type of pet? A cat, right? Is a cat. And then you want to give some reasoning. And note this explanation tells you exactly why I think the cat is the best pet, right? Because cats are self-cleaning. And so that gives us the thesis, my favorite pet is a cat because cats are self-cleaning. Now, when I go to grade this thesis, I'm going to ask, does it have a limited topic? Yes. Does it have an argument? Yes. Does it give an explanation? Yes, it does. That is the thesis statement. You cannot write a thesis statement that promises to tell us something later. The thesis statement must make those conclusions right in the thesis. Okay, it has to say what you're going to prove. So here are some things to remember. An academic essay must have a thesis. The thesis usually appears in the first paragraph, and the thesis is the part of your paper that gets the most attention. All right, please remember that your thesis must give specific answers. It cannot simply promise to tell us something later in the essay. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Have fun.